YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. I have something very weird and spectacular. It's a box. Unbelievable, I know. But this is contained in this box is something authentically new. I know it's a miracle because usually the complaints we hear, and don't worry, we're with you. When's the new stuff coming?
Today.
Today.
Right now.
Today, and it's gonna be good stuff, and I can't wait. Oh, it says something on the side, but I'm not even gonna say what it says.
Okay, my way.
Okay, I'm gonna slide this box. It is a giant extra large pizza. Nope, it's an SR-71. Amazing! And I put the box backward. That is gonna be something else, guys. Looks totally sweet. This thing is a twin 40mm Outrunner fans, optional use, fixed landing gears, plus beautiful. Look at this. We've got 3 and 3, just cool. Like the real one. So cool. And I love the way this thing looks. I can't wait to get it out. But I just want to point out this giant 3 here. Uh-oh. So that means 3 trees to avoid. I wonder if I can handle it, and we're going to handle it, people. Don't you worry, but we have a cat trying to handle the box first. Okay, so let's get right into it. First of all, optional use safe, select flight envelope. Okay, obviously it has 3X, 4 factory installed linear servos. We'll see how that goes. This thing is big, it's long, 37.6 inches long. It's 955 millimeters long, and it's 505 millimeters wingspan. That is not very much.
No, it's not.
And this is a weird size box. You might have noticed it's very pizza box-esque. It's a little bit taller than the average pizza box. So if you guys haven't seen what we do on this channel, we unbox them. Oh, and this is officially licensed. Very good, since they probably want to get theirs. But if you guys haven't seen what we do on this channel, we unbox them, we build them, we radio set them up, and then we enjoy the planes for their maiden flights, sometimes a few flights thereafter. And we're gonna just do that right now. Also, just wanna point out, since this is an early release, there could be some very, very, very minor nuances that are different about yours. In packaging, they try to get them to us exactly as they come from the factory, but there are sometimes little tiny differences, like maybe a manual might be in a different spot and they didn't tape over something exactly the same. But we try our very best to give you guys a real look at what you're gonna see. Okay? And the best part is, if there's ever some weird issue, they usually work through it by the time you get yours. So we get to deal with it. All right, so let's cut this thing open. This is gonna be awesome. I cannot wait to see this thing. I normally just go for like the bolts and stuff. I'm gonna follow the standard protocol here. Oh man, the tape's stuck to it, dang it. Okay, so this is plastic. There's a magnet here. Okay, so that's probably gonna go over the battery tray, I would assume. And I'm just gonna kind of like work left to right, your left to your right. Okay, so we'll just cut these. Now this is something that can be repacked, so don't throw away your box. The ultra micros are kind of in a different size class. I keep saying ultra micro, my wife keeps correcting me, the camera crew, Megan. Yes, that's right. I just want to point out they also come with vertical stabilizers that are red, okay? Now, why did they do that? Because visibility is one of the areas where the SR-71 does not shine, because it was literally designed to be invisible and very fast. So, when you see spy and things like that in the title of a airplane, you'll know that it was meant to be hard to see, okay? Now, I think that's one of the reasons why they do it, but they clip in and clip out. So that's very nice. We've got these decals here, and we'll show you on the red ones, we are just bare, okay? But same clip-in style. So maybe, I don't know if we wanna fly with the red first or if you wanna fly with the black first. I kinda wanna see it unencumbered by red instead of black. We had a cat attacking the couch, of course. So we're gonna keep cutting as we go. So as you can see, a little bit of foam to protect the foam from the foam, and I'm just stuffing it in over here. And I do that in case I want to try to repack it the same way. Oh my goodness, this thing is big. Like, I thought it was gonna be dinky, but it's like huge.
It's because it's not a UMX.
It's not a UMX, I know. Oh, that is so sweet. I'm super excited to see this. Guys, attention to detail, second to none. Plastic along all of this leading edge here. Sweet panel lines on the canopy. Look at this, plastic. That is so sweet. And then of course we got inlets all over the place because we don't want to have to force all the air through there. So we've got cheaters in the back, as you can see. All the cool little details. Now is this is plastic? No, this is foam here, but it's really high density foam. Linear long throw servos with a plug. Serviceability, guys. When did that happen? Amazing. Got to love it. Serviceability again. Somebody actually decided to put a connector on the freaking servo. That is awesome. Okay, cool. We have an antenna sticking out the bottom. I do not like that at all. I'm gonna stick that back in. And then we have linkages here with turnbuckles and ball joints. Okay, see some of the wear and tear. You won't have that on yours. Left, right. They are not ambidextrous. Oh, so they're gonna use that as an elevator, and they're gonna use these as ailerons, and it looks like one servo that's split off with that complex linkage there. So be super careful when you hook those in. If you were to replace one, you're gonna wanna make sure that those things get put back into place. Let's see if this is magnetic. I can't tell, I don't wanna break it. Ooh, yeah. Okay, magnetic. Oh, that is so nice, guys. Accessibility, serviceability is the name of the game. Evidently, somebody decided they wanted to be able to fix things when they break. I will be that guy's friend. Okay, so as you can see here, we recommend push battery all the way forward. Okay, with recommended battery, push battery all the way forward. That's what it says, not we. My apologies, I can't read very good. And then there is a steerable nose gear, as you can see, but it's on a flush mount surface with a plastic bearing plate and an inlet here for some airflow. So super detailed and gorgeous. Now obviously there's a nose that needs to get on here at some point. It's right here. I'm hoping that the nose is not in the box. Oh, you can't put this in the box with the nose on. It's too short. They must have had issues with those things shipping and getting damaged, I bet. Okay. So we have another, it says Habu, what? Okay, so I guess there's another Habu sticker. Is that supposed to go on the tail? I wonder if that's supposed to go on the tail.
Red tail?
Yeah, I guess you could. But it looks like there's only one. Maybe, again, this is probably a nuance of the early release thing. Maybe they lost the other one or they didn't use it. But it looks like a water decal maybe, okay? So as you can see, plastic with a clip inside. There is an up and a down, okay? So it looks good. It looks like it's gonna be the first thing to break, but it's got a little bit of flexibility to it. So we'll go ahead and try to slide that in there. Oh, that looks so sweet. Oh, yes, loving it. Okay, so continuing on, we've got, by the way, did you notice the complete and utter absence of nut and bolt sacks?
I was just noticing that right now.
That's awkward.
I don't know.
But great. Look at
Doesn't
this,
bother
so
me.
sweet. Now yours are gonna be clean because they haven't been used. Ours have been used for testing. And look, that's welded together and look how thick that is. That is crazy. I wanna meet the guy who welded that. I'm sure it's a machine, but still. That is pretty sweet though. And this is sturdy. I don't think that spring is gonna do anything. It's way too thick. All right, I gotta see what these things look like. It's kind of killing me. Is that supposed to go back or forward? I don't know. We'll find out when we do it wrong. Oh, that looks really nice actually. It's actually sort of scale. I normally don't get excited about landing gear on these smaller planes. By the way, this is stout. It's got reinforcements. It doesn't bend. Let's see how this fits. Okay. Okay, that's a pretty good fit. But I'm gonna leave this just gently upside down. I don't wanna damage anything, obviously, but I wanna see these landing gear because these landing gear are sweet. Oh man, they got all the gear door and everything in, all together. That's totally cool. And by the way, I just want you to squish that tire and tell me what you think.
It's a little, it's squishy.
They're all squishy.
Yeah.
They're all squishy. Why do we get squishy tires on this and not other big planes? I want squishy tires on all of them. If you can do it on this plane, you can do it on the rest of them. That's all I got to say. Okay, snap. They don't even really snap, they just slide in. Now yours might be a little bit stiffer going in, so just full disclosure.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see if, oh, there's a launching holding point. That is not as plastic reinforced as I'd like, because you're gonna be grabbing the foam here and here.
It's also not super big.
No, it's big enough. It's fine. I feel like I got a good grip on it. I'm holding it backward, of course. But that is so
really
sweet. Cool. Okay, we got to put some wings on this. Obviously, Unbox build radio setup, not going to take long on this plane. But man, this thing is so dang gorgeous. I'm like afraid to fly it. I want to keep it in good shape so it's perfect forever. Okay, yeah. Well, let's see if I'm doing this right. Okay, so there's a line-up hole in the center. Okay, it just snaps in. It's a little bit scary to do that, I got to admit, because this is plastic here. And then this is plastic reinforcements on foam, it looks like. So I'm just thinking if that breaks, it's gonna be bad. It went fine, no problems. Guys, that is absolutely fantastical. Beautiful. I gotta love it. This thing is gorgeous. And even on the bottom, it's really nice looking. For being a simpler plane, that is amazing. And when I say simpler, I don't mean simpler to make. I don't mean simpler in terms of the actual design of the plane or the look of the plane. I'm just saying simpler as in simple to build. And that's the way we like these planes. We like them simple and we like them to work well. And that's what we do here on this channel is we talk about how well they actually worked. We talk about what we wanted and our expectations that were not met. And I can tell you one thing that I was hoping for that I don't see on that plane. You wanna know what it is?
LEDs.
Yep, this thing's gonna be very easy to disappear in the sky and LEDs would help with that. I'm sure there was probably some budget issue that they were trying to hit a certain target and they couldn't hit it. But man, that looks good. I like seriously am debating like, okay, hold on. Let's just see what areas of the living room we could put this. Let's see if we can put it over here.
Great.
I think this would be awesome right here. Yeah.
No.
Don't you think? Or hold on. Should we do it above the light so it's more cool?
Still no.
Okay, how about here? Let's put it here. Yes. Everybody that comes in gets to see it and they think that guy is so cool.
No.
Okay, we'll take it outside and fly it. But let's talk about the battery and radio setup first, because obviously we got to get this thing so it can be flown. But man, it is so gorgeous. And what does it even fly on? I don't even know what it's supposed to fly on.
I don't know.
I think it's 4S 2200,
The front
like
of the
the
box
F-14.
says 4S capable. Oh, look, something hiding on the bottom.
And it's not folded, yay! Gotta love it, somebody listened once. Actually, Horizon's manuals are rarely come folded. They do once in a while, but it's been so long since we had one that was actually folded, I shouldn't say that. I'm just gonna lay this down. I gotta say, having the boxes that are of the UMX style of class, it's really nice, but I'm gonna say it's a double-edged sword. Do you wanna know why?
Why?
Because then you end up putting them in the box and they're sweet planes. And I really honestly, truly believe that having a box will make you put your plane away. If it didn't have the box, you would just leave it out. Okay, so the people at home are asking, hey, what's it look like with the red? I'm gonna have you do a pseudo visual here, okay? So obviously the red is gonna really make that a lot easier to see. Show them from the side there.
Yeah.
It looks nice, it still looks nice, but I'm totally flying it without. I gotta fly without the red. Because the red is probably what I'm gonna use after we do the first couple of flights. Okay, so we have a manual. There's an E-flite sticker in here. That's kind of cool, okay? I don't know if that's supposed to be in there. I would assume it is. Oh, and just for the record, we're gonna be using the NX10, which is our customary sort of radio of choice. Now that means you can use an NX10. Just follow the link in the video description below. And we have about 178 planes in here now. There is a limit of 250, but you can put more on your SD card and then pull them back and forth if you would need to. I don't think it's so much a size thing, but I'm gonna tell you, if you move things, if you have 250 models in here, it's gonna be really slow by the time it gets that full, because it's already starting to slow down a little bit for us when we start making new models. Okay, so just looking through our setup here, what I kind of want to do is I want to look at this thing first. Okay, so stop, read before setup and flying. Okay, so you need to use a straight edge to make sure that the elevator and the elevon are aligned with this dot. Okay. Oh, so you can kind of see what they're talking about. They want a 0.5 millimeter trim up, mechanical trim first. Okay, so let's talk about this. In reference to page 9 of the manual, set low voltage alarm to 3.45 volts per cell minimum. The nose skid is included with what can be installed in place of the nose gear to help protect the aircraft during belly landings. Maybe they forgot to give that part to us because I didn't see anything.
You didn't see anything.
Because if you guys look at what we're talking about there, right here, this thing there's supposed to be a cap that goes on there. I didn't see anything. Well, maybe they just forgot to throw it in. Guys, I'm gonna use it with the gear because the gear looks sweet on this.
Yeah.
I'm not about to belly land mine. I know some of you are gonna belly land your planes, and I'm not trying to beat you up if you love belly landing or if you don't have a hard surface from which to fly. I get that. And to be honest with you, we have a backup plan that's 1,200 feet long. You may not have that. Our backup plan, of course, is the road. Our main primary runway is only about 275 feet. But if you include the drop off, then it's more like, I don't know, 190 or 200, maybe something like that. Okay, so just continuing down. The elevator and the elevon neutral position shown on page 7, the instruction manual, are for flying without the landing gear. Oh. Flight performance is noticeably better without the landing gear installed due to less weight and drag, which makes sense, and that stands to reason. We've seen that with many other planes, pretty much any hand launch plane we've ever done. Always trim for neutral in AS3X mode without applying power to the motor, so AS3X is not active. What? Oh yeah. What they're saying is make sure that you trim before you activate AS3X, but wouldn't that be for safe? I guess there must be some up that's like trimmed into it or that's mixed into it. Neutral and flight trim will change when flying with the landing gear installed. Okay, trim without landing gear. The elevator half should be aligned with the edge of the fuse. Use a straight edge to align the elevons to the elevators. Trim with landing gear. Lengthen the control linkage to raise the elevator halves and elevon neutral to 0.5 millimeters, measured from the trailing edge of the elevator to the edge of the fuse. Use a straight edge to align the... How are you going to measure 0.5 millimeter? I mean, we have micrometers, I guess, but that seems like a pretty small change, guys.
Yes.
I mean, it's a small change because it's a small model, and admittedly, you know, you get into these high-performance planes and you think, oh yeah, that's an awesome plane and it flies perfect. I guarantee you there's no more finicky planes in the arsenals of the world than this type of plane. And just for the sake of the fact that they go so fast and do so many insane things. So, okay, just look at the edge with us here. I'm trying to see this. I really honestly cannot tell. That looks straight to me. And so they're suggesting, oh, by the way, show them the fans while we've got that light shining from the sun.
Oh, cool,
you see that? That's so cool. It almost looks like the glow of, you know, an afterburner. That is so sweet. Okay, so I think we're gonna grab a straight edge and just look at this. Grab me the E-flite thing. I'm gonna use that as my straight edge. The reason I'm doing this is because I don't wanna get up, I'm too lazy. And B, this should come in yours too. Okay, so if you don't have this, just get a straight edge. Okay. Oh, there's play in it too. That's not gonna help. This one has less play. And by the way, 0.5 millimeter, good Lord, these bumps are gonna be darn near 0.5 millimeter. Oh man, I'm literally a measuring specialist and I'm like, how are you gonna measure 0.5 millimeter, guys? I am really tempted to just mix something in on this. But I don't want to have a catastrophic failure because I'm disallowing myself to follow the rules. I really like the way this looks. I don't want to lose it on maiden. I'm sure you guys will be on the same boat, so you can just watch me screw it up and then you can copy if it goes well. And if it doesn't go well, then, you know, that's unfortunate. I am going to tell you this. This is one of those times when we do early releases where you may find that we have a very, very, very slight difference in our experience than what you have. Because you may open it and you may have to actually adjust these. These things look perfectly straight to me. Okay?
They do.
And what I'm saying is, there's play. See, there's slop. Look how much slop there is. Am I supposed to measure with or without slop? Because you know where that slop comes from? A hole that's this big and a linkage that's this big. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be a problem in flight. I'm saying that it is a practical reality that we're facing. So this doesn't move as much, or it's a lot heavier, but this does move. And I think it goes up, so I'm going to call it up, whatever. Devil's in the details, folks. I'm the first to admit, I hope I'm not eating my words later, which I probably will be. All right, twin EDF. We're looking through the manual for a second. SR-71 Blackbird, twin 40 millimeter. Okay, so going through and looking at the setup. Okay, all right, so we've got the instruction manual. Here's what we're looking for, guys. 4S 2200 milliamp, okay? We recommend 4S 2200 milliamp. Okay, good deal. That's easy enough. I'm just looking at some of this stuff to see if there's anything weird that stands out strange. Yeah, see, Gen 2, Gen 2. They're calling out optional accessories, a Gen 2 versus a Gen 2, 30 or 50C. I believe we're gonna run 30C. You just need the one battery. There's 2 ESCs and 2 motors, but it's all split off of there. Okay, so pretty obvious how this goes. I mean, it took like 10 seconds to figure that out. Okay, so this is the transmitter setup. Low rates recommended for the initial flight. Notice due to AS3X technology, functions properly don't lower below 50, okay. Exponential after your first few flights, okay, fine. We'll set it up like we always do. That should be fine. On the F-14 Twin 40, just to be clear, there was special mixing for launching. And when you launched, the system was designed to actually improve the success rate of hand launching, okay? So on this one, I'm really want to fly it with the gear on. But the thing is, once I get in the air, I'm gonna really want to be flying it without gear on. I'm just thinking, I don't want to have any issues landing it because it's so delicate in terms of size and everything. DX series setup, NX series, and IX series, okay? So we're gonna just keep going through. Okay, here's...
So it did say which way the springs were supposed to go on the gear. To the rear.
That's the way I did it.
Okay. Good job.
So, okay. So I don't know if you guys saw what I was talking about there or what camera crew was talking about. We see the gear. There's a spring that goes back, okay? All right, so. Yep, 4S. Okay, so they're calling out a 30C. So 30C is recommended. So we'll recommend it in the links below. Just check them out. Okay, there is an LED flash. You've got bind mode, safe, and AS3X. So red and blue flash is bind mode, which, you know, with these smaller planes and the controller boards, the flight controller, a multi-purpose brick, whatever you want to call it, then there's these lights and they flash. Okay, so solid red and blue is safe, and then solid red is AS3X, okay? So we'll try to point that out when we see it. Here's where they talk about the straight edge, okay? So just remember, if you're in any doubt, refer to this is one language, that's one language, and there's four of them total. So it's really only a half a page addendum that goes right here, guys, okay? So if you didn't already check this, check it out, all right? All right, so, and by the way, this worked fine as a straight edge. It was plenty long to act as a straight edge, okay? All right, so fail-safe, we already know about fail-safe. Center of gravity, this could be a little bit different than what we're used to. So the CG is located exactly 5 millimeters back from the indicated panel line on the bottom of the aircraft as shown. Okay, so what they're saying is a panel line as shown below. Okay, so I'm thinking it's gonna be like right here. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so you guys see what they're talking about here? There's an edge right here. So 5 millimeters back, my guess is they're talking about right there, guys. And I can't mark it very good because it's black, and the only thing we're gonna do is dent it.
Dent it.
So it does look like that's exactly right. How do I know, guys? Folks, look at this. I'm gonna stick this down here, and I'm just gonna, yep, that's almost exactly. You see this little breather vent? Guess what? They block it with the stupid little thing, the graphic. You can't tell. Well, let's just say this. We're just gonna agree to disagree. on the exact location later, but for now we're gonna agree that it's 5 millimeters back. Let's measure and just double check. I am able to lay it upside down. That's kind of nice. 5 millimeters is a small measurement, folks. If you don't have a pair of calipers, calipers come in handy. They are not a make or break deal for most people, but I'm just gonna tell you this. You can measure 0.5 millimeter with these things, okay? But look how small 0.5 millimeter is. Like you're telling me you're gonna measure, you're gonna measure that?
Retrim that?
I don't think so. I don't think so. So 5 millimeters is even hard to get, you know? Now again, like I said, I can make this say 5 millimeters, but then making it say 5 millimeters and then impacting change on a model is two totally different things, folks. Okay, so from this line, 5 millimeters is exactly where I thought it was. See? The magnet is holding it. Okay, I'm just gonna draw a line, folks. There's really, on these models, the echelon of model that we're dealing with, I would like to see a center of gravity marked on it. But I understand why they don't, because there are changes occasionally in production or between production and delivery. So this panel line to there. Okay, yeah, it's good enough. I mean, oh, for God's sake. This is just an awkward spot. And I gotta say, with a black finish, it should be quite easy to touch up this model. Yeah, black on black, I know. Okay. It's kind of a hard one to mark. Okay, do you guys see what I just did there? I marked the edge of the foam here. Okay, so I'm just gonna, that's probably what I need to do here, is just draw this like an engineering mark. And just be done with it. Because there's no other way you're gonna get it marked easy. If you mark it black on black, what are you gonna do? So that is the CG. Now you could take and make a decal that was red or something like that and apply it there, and it would look really nice. And in fact, that sticker in there might actually work for that. So we'll come back to that later. Okay, 2200 4S. We have a 2200 4S charged. These are the batteries that we started with for the F-14 with the sweep wing design on the twin 40 millimeter size class, okay? And so when you look at this and you think, that looks like a pretty new battery. We started with new batteries and they've offered either buy one, get one free, or not buy one, get one free, but buy the plane, get a discount on the battery, or get a discount or get a free battery or whatever it is. They run that special, and when they run that special, take advantage, because these batteries are pretty expensive still. I mean, granted, they're not terrible, but they're worth it because they work good, okay? So this is a magnetically held attached lid, and it's got a strong attachment, okay? Very strong, actually, okay? This is like some label that says which test run this was, because like I said, we get these ones from the early samples, and so they are from the test artifacts. Okay, so now, when looking at this strapping mechanism they've got, it looks like more of a standard strap than what we're used to seeing, and it does go under into the plastic, and that is a carbon fiber spar right there, all the way down the length of the plane. That is pretty cool. We might as well just load this up. In terms of how this is supposed to go, they're suggesting that the battery goes, what did the label say?
All the way forward.
All the way forward, okay. All the way forward with the suggested battery. Okay, and this is 4S 2200 30C, folks.
Wow.
Yeah, that's got good penetration. And it's easy to load. That was like way easier than I was thinking. I'm like super nervous about those vertical stabilizers. I really hope we don't screw them up by doing this. Okay, so now reluctantly, I'm gonna leave the wires hanging loose so that I can just kind of move this back. Okay. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start the radio setup part. So I'm gonna just turn the phone away, or not the phone, but the transmitter away. And I'm gonna go to add new model, and I'm gonna click. And then I'm gonna create a new acro. Okay, and we'll go through the full radio setup right now. It should be pretty easy radio setup. And what we're gonna do for the radio setup is we're gonna actually come back here to, I think, the second page, third page, fourth page, folks. And so we're in the NX series, so we're gonna be looking at this if you guys need to pause the screen for help. Okay, so now that we've got that, okay, power on your transmitter. I'm gonna turn the nose so I don't accidentally bump it. Click the scroll wheel, system setup, choose yes, model select, we just did that. So now we need to do model name. Okay, so the model name, 174, I think I had said 177 earlier. So this is gonna be the SR-71, so we'll scroll that in and come right back. Okay, so we couldn't fit Blackbird in there, so I just did SR-71 Twin 40. Why do you do that? Because when they release one that's bigger, like the Carbon Z SR-71, then we can go ahead and rename that. All right, so then as it says down here, you're gonna go to the function list, so we'll just back out of there. Okay, sweet. They don't tell you anything about a timer at all, which is probably because the timer doesn't matter. I'm gonna still turn it on. We do have voltage. So do you want a timer?
It's kind of good to...
I don't know. Let's just have 5 minutes and let's just do a voice at 1. And at 10 seconds, I want a voice. And at expiration, I want tone and vibrate and a tone every minute thereafter. Good enough. Throttle cut, obviously we want to, throttle cut. We want to turn that on to H as a matter of habit. Okay, so just looking, shut off the throttle. Now the throttle's on. Okay, so I got my throttle cut on, tested. And then basically the only thing that they're talking about is, oh, they did talk about throttle cut there. So then they talk about rates. So they want high rates 100 and low rates 70. Okay, so like, do they realize switch F is actually 3 positions? Did I miss something there? Whatever, I'm just gonna exaggerate my settings, okay? So I'm gonna start with switch F. I'm gonna set them both to switch F. I'm gonna try with 10. I'm gonna try with 20, and then I'm gonna try with 30, okay? And so that's a little bit larger than I would normally do. And then they're saying the rates, well, actually, you know what? We'll leave this at, let's just go 100. All right, guys, so why do I deviate from what the instruction manual says? Because I do start in the middle, got a little bit more, start in the middle, got a little bit less. I have an out. When you have high and low rates, that leaves nothing for the middle settings. So which setting is the middle? You know what I mean? So I like settings to be in the middle. Now they have split it out wisely to 2 different switches for a plane that you might not be familiar with. But I'm gonna just tell you something real quick. If you're a new pilot, first of all, this is skill level 3. I don't even know if I qualify for that, but we'll find out if I crash it. So secondly, the other thing is, I don't have time, even as a more expert than a brand new pilot, to go find 3 different switches for adjustments on that sort of thing. I could maybe get to a knob quick, but that's gonna be a quick and dirty adjustment. So I'm gonna set them just like I always do, except I'm gonna set a little bit more amplitude to the change, okay? And they don't even say anything for rudder. Oh, is there a rudder? It's just the nose gear. Sorry, I'm gonna lay this down so it's a little quicker and easier here. So 20 and then 30. The last plane we forgot to set this before we took off and it was fine, but it would have been better if it was set. Okay, so then rudder. Of course, like we said, rudder is probably not gonna be a big factor. You wanna raise that up just a hair so they can get that better angle. Thank you. I don't know if there's a glare, is there anything? So here's 30, and then we'll drop this down to 90. Okay, all right, so now we gotta they haven't talked at all about initiating safe at all. So I guess to be frank, we're gonna, maybe they did later. We didn't go all the way through. Oh, there we go, smart speed control. Okay, telemetry. They're suggesting some low voltage warnings. That's for this, enabling safe select. We're gonna enable safe select for launch. Okay, they show you how to take things out. They show you how to fix stuff, which is kind of nice. They show you how things are plugged in, which is nice. And guys, like, we're pretty much here, okay?
Do you want to set the warnings, the telemetry warnings now or not till after we've got it? Or you have to bind it first?
I have to bind it first, but telemetry warnings, didn't we see the telemetry warnings?
Yes.
Let's just leave that
I don't know if
page.
that's different than what they have here.
Well, it's 3.45 volts. They had it at 3.4 in the manual. So we're gonna look at that. That's why I folded that shut, in case you guys were wondering. All right, plus I don't like manuals. Manuals are helpful when they're clear. And sometimes on these new planes, we could use a little bit more help. So like for instance, this, are we calling that a half a millimeter of play, or are we calling that the absolute position? I can tell you it doesn't go down, but it goes up. I can tell you this doesn't move as much. And to be honest, you're only the stroke of an elevator away or trim from getting that fixed. So I'm really hoping that that's not a problem. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna plug this in for the first time and we're gonna get ready to bind. Okay, so I'm gonna just carefully lay this on top of everything. It is pretty secure, so I'm happy with that. Easy to plug in IC3 to IC3. Plugging this in. Sounds really cool, but that's kind of a nuance of twin EDFs. Okay, so this is probably ready to bind. I'm gonna clear my timer, click, scroll down to bind, and then click disconnect RF, and then go into bind. Simple as that, folks. Okay, so now, before we initiate throttle, I am going to get down on the side with this thing, and I'm gonna look and just see what's going on. Because now that we're energized, I'm gonna sit here and tell you, those things are level. They must have this thing, and they are pointed up. How do you tell? Here, I'll just hold it. You guys see this? Look at this, right here. Very hard to focus on this angle. When you get down here, you can see there is a bit of an up angle on that part. Oh my goodness, I can't get it to focus to save my life, folks. Trying desperately. You guys see how this is flat here? It's not flat on the bottom. Okay. Hopefully that helps you guys to understand what I'm saying. But good luck measuring it. Half a millimeter. I think you'd be better to actually take a bunch of paper and make a half a millimeter out of it and use it as like a shim or something. So I just don't know how you're gonna measure that effectively. All right, so elevator up, elevator down, that looks sweet. Elevator up, elevator down, roll left, roll right, yaw left, yaw right. Okay, so now all we should have to do is just verify our corrections are gonna be what they are. I'm gonna trust AS3X works, but I am going to check for safe. And safe, of course, is important. Yep, it's already on, look. So we can't be looking at that. That's how you can tell, and you can also tell by the color of that color, okay? So now our next move is, let's check gear. Safe is off. Look at the color change.
Yep,
Red
only.
Okay, so my hand is on the middle. Safe, not safe, okay? Meaning AS3X only. Now is when you would actually take your gauge and check, okay? So I'm just gonna get down here on the side. Yeah, that thing's going up just a little bit, which is what we want. And they do look like they're very close to even. So that means that this has probably been set up for no landing gear, right?
No, 4 landing gear.
Okay. All right, I don't like my gear switch being pulled up like that for safe. So I'm gonna go into servo setup. This is a preference issue. You guys might not want this, but I am gonna reverse gear, okay? Now I have safe off for normal flight mode. And there's no activity because we have actually never given throttle in this. And that's what we want. Now, let's set our warning. We have one more warning I wanna set here. And it's a telemetry warning. I don't know if it's in this one. Yeah, see this overcharge, I don't care about that. Set the low voltage alarm to 3.45. I don't really care about that. I don't care about that. If it's overcharged, I'll know when I'm charging. Startup volts, that is kind of handy. ESC, let's just do this. We'll scroll out or click back out. Okay. I love this screen. Okay, so I'm gonna click. We'll scroll down to telemetry again. I'm gonna go back to smart ESC. There we go. Okay, low voltage needs to be adjusted to 4.5 volts. This is the low voltage alarm at 3.45 volts minimum, okay? And then I'm not gonna mess with any of the rest of this crap because they don't talk about it or I didn't read it clear enough. All right, so total number of cells is 4. And is the alarm active? That's a tone. Ooh, you can have a voice. Let's do voice.
Okay.
Because I hate the tone. Oh, I'm so excited to fly this plane. It's gonna be amazing. If you guys already haven't seen it yet, we hope you'll watch. Check out this video. We love flying these planes for you. We've done tons and tons, hundreds and hundreds of planes, and we love doing them for you. And this thing looks totally sweet, and I am dying, and the sun is in a perfect condition to get my flight done. So we are gonna do it right now, and wish us luck, guys. These early releases are a little bit stressful for us because planes like this, oh man, they look so gorgeous. And if I make a mistake, it's super embarrassing, but I'm more concerned about bringing you guys the no BS story about this plane. And yes, I know that I am a little bit fawning over this plane right now, and that's partly because I've wanted to have an SR-71 for years, just like I wanted to have the F-14 for literally years and years and years, if not decades. And so I'm super excited to bring it to you. And that extra excitement, as you know, raises the heart rate, raises the awareness, raises the stress levels, and also leads to mistakes. So don't do it like me. Get unexcited and make sure you do it right before you crash your plane. And I only say that because I want the best for you. And I know that you guys love flying too, and you love the experience of learning about RC. That's why you're on Brian Phillips RC. If you want more, there's so much more 1,800 plus videos right now that you can watch as soon as this one's over, and we hope you will. If you need help finding the video you're searching for, you can search in YouTube. You can click on our face and search our channel, or you can go to brianphillipsrc.com. That's also where we list coupon codes, and we list all the planes divided up by manufacturer, hobby shop, whoever's sending it to us, that sort of thing. And we have it divided up by type, okay? So if you're looking for something that's a float plane or something that's like a fixed wing aircraft like this, or something that's going to be basically an amazing EDF jet, you can do that as well. And we're trying to improve the way that you sort through those so that you can find stuff even easier. Remember, whole playlists might have 40, 50 videos in them, but that's kind of in the old days. Now it's usually about 4 or 5 videos, and you might see a first, an unbox build radio setup, then a maiden, and then a second thoughts and a revisit or a crash or something like that. And we just articulate what's there. We try not to clickbait you guys. We want you to see what's really coming so you know what to expect. And we try to give you guys a good consistent shot at what these planes offer, whether they fly good or I'm scared to death flying them, or they fly terrible and they barely make it on camera. So truth is, that's why we love doing this. And these planes are getting so good, but I gotta say, this plane is sweet looking. I cannot wait to see it in the air. And I know you guys are gonna love to get one for yourself. If you do get one for yourself, make sure you follow from the links in the video description below. That is the #1 best way financially you can help support us, because we do make small commissions from all the companies we work with. And believe me, that does not mean that we're gonna tell you this is the best thing since sliced bread. We have done reviews for these guys and said it's not the best thing since sliced bread. We've also done reviews for other companies that we have totally disbanded with because they were so bad. And we have tried to do business with other companies that don't want us to bring it to you because they're afraid we're going to tell you the truth. This is a true story, and we are surrounded by planes in every room. We have like 1,800 square feet in this house, floor to ceiling, 9-foot ceilings filled with planes, and we have more than we can handle. So it's a great problem to have, and we're doing it because we want you guys to be able to say, this plane is good, I can buy with confidence. And we know that a lot of times you're pre-ordering on early releases. We want you to have confidence. That's why we're here. Give us a pat on the back, if you would please, when you do buy this, buy from the link. Also, if you just disdain this plane for some reason, maybe I flight crash it immediately, have tons of problems, whatever the case is, we have tons of other amazing products. And you don't have to necessarily lean on this, although it looks pretty dang juicy. So we hope you guys will get one. And if you want to help us in other ways, we have super thanks. Members on YouTube, membership on Patreon, and PayPal. So thanks for watching, guys. We know you'll be back for more. This publishes like a minute before or something like that. And so if you're just watching this and you're like, where's the flight? I didn't even see the flight. It's already out. Don't worry. It's out right now. Just watch it right now. And then you can remember to smash the like button on both videos. So thanks for watching. So much more RC content coming from Brian Phillips RC, and then even more if you just stay tuned. And we'll see you here next time on Brian Phillips RC. Thanks for watching.